So you're all very welcome to Donegal Volunteer Centre's Social Inclusion Week 2020 event with Maria Whelan. Maria has very kindly agreed to join us again to deliver another session around the topic of, I suppose, mindfulness and well-being. And it's something that is particularly important to us all, and I suppose more so in these times when maybe there's stresses from the outside world that are coming in on us all that we wouldn't normally experience. I suppose we've all undergone a bit of a transition and a bit of a learning curve over this past 6 months. So it's great for us to have that, to have Maria with us, and to have the opportunity just to have a chat, I suppose, about these sort of things. So Maria, if you're okay, I will hand over to you just in one wee moment. I meant to say, we're recording the session. We'll share it out with everybody afterwards. And if there's any other sessions that people would be interested in accessing or finding out about, you can let us know in the chat. You know, if there's anything else you would like us to maybe explore delivering for yourselves. We're kind of very much led by the volunteers and the groups that we work with. Maria, we'll hand over to you, and we will enjoy the next hour or so.
Thank you, John. Thanks very much. Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen here. Okay, no, do you know what? Just 2 seconds. I had to, 2 wee seconds. I'm just going to get this thing up here for a minute.
No problem at all, Maria. Technology is
yeah,
it's all great until there's an audience watching you.
Yeah. Get the other one.
Not a bother. So there's still a few more people kind of coming in there. So look, these are all very welcome to this session with Maria as part of our, I suppose, work for Social Inclusion Week. So shout whenever you're right there, Maria, and we'll hand back over to you.
Okay, thanks, John. That's great. So, okay, so slideshow from beginning. Okay, there we are. We're in business. Okay, so thank you, John, and welcome to you all. And I'm delighted to be here to do this presentation for the Donegal Volunteer Centre as part of the Social Inclusion Week. And the presentation is, as John had said, it's around mindfulness and well-being. And there'll be 2 parts to this presentation. The first part will be on well-being, and then I'll do a little bit of theory on mindfulness, and then I'll guide you through 2 separate mindfulness meditations practices. So just a little bit about me. I'm a parent. I have a daughter. She's 26. My goodness, time does fly. And a partner. I have a dog there, and she keeps me active, out walking. I'm a cognitive behavioural therapist, facilitator, and a counsellor. So part 1, we're just going to cover this one on well-being. You know, the mind and body, we can't sort of look after one without the other. There is a huge connection there between the mind and body, and you know, the holistic wellness of, you know, minding both. And you know, the days are getting shorter. I'm sure you all notice that, you know, we're getting into autumn, and what is beautiful, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of lovely leaves and, you know, all the different colors. But you know, we need to just be aware of, you know, trying to get outside if you can, during the daylight hours. And if you can't, just maybe sitting over near the light at a window or something, and just trying to get plenty of light at this time of the year. And I suppose the second one that's really important is routine. You know, and John had said as well that, you know, so much has happened really, you know, and we've you know, since March of this year, we've been sort of in a little bit of a roller coaster really with the COVID. So, you know, when we feel very stressed, we can feel, you know, a sense of a loss of control. So routine is really important for that. So things like, you know, meditation, relaxation, and getting your sleep routine will help to give you back that sense of control in these uncertain times. And they're still uncertain, really, aren't they? You know, they really are. We're at 3 now, and some people have been asking, gosh, I wonder, will we go up to 4? And, you so it is uncertain. Also, switching off your phone in the evening is really important. I've started to do that myself more, just putting it away. Reading a book, winding down, because sometimes we forget to wind down. We're just all hyped up through the day and through the evening. And you can ask yourself, how important is it that you have your phone with you all the time? Because when we have it all the time, it means that we're on all the time. We're sort of nearly kind of, that adrenaline is going all the time. And another thing that's really good as well is just to set some small goals every day. Now, they don't have to be big goals. They can be really, something like even clearing out a drawer. I can just think of a drawer that I need to do. Now, I'm going to put that on my list next week, definitely. And these things are really good because they give you a sense of achievement. And you just feel really good about yourself that you've done it. And it could be something that you have been putting off doing. And I know that drawer, I've been putting that off for quite a while. So if I get that done, I'm going to feel really good. And it's not about putting too much on your goal. I mean, if you want as well, you could actually take out a sheet of paper and you can write down the goals, 1 or 2 goals every day, and just tick them off. That can be really helpful. And I remember just the reason why I say not too many goals is because, like, during the week there last week, I suppose I had a busy few weeks, and I got up this particular morning, and by mid-morning I was starting to feel very anxious, and I was thinking, gosh, I wonder what's going on there. And I was checking in to see what I was thinking and what's going through my mind, and wonder what's going on there. And you know what, I thought I'll trace it back and see where the anxiety is coming from. And I traced it back to when I got out of the bed and went into my study room and started writing out my goals. And I had about 10 goals on the sheet. And I knew that they weren't achievable. I wasn't going to get them all done. And it actually made me feel really anxious. So it was a good learning for me then to just sort of put 1 or 2 goals on, and even 1, but it has to be achievable, because if you have too much down there, it's going to increase the anxiety. So that was a bit of learning for me last week. So then I'm just going to have a look at this. This is positive steps to well-being, and I'm just going to share this with you for a minute. Okay, it's down here. I had a wee moment there. Here we go. That's it. Okay, can everybody see that okay? So these are positive steps to well-being. So the first one there, be kind to yourself, and that's really important, because sometimes even in our culture, sometimes there can be that sort of a belief that maybe we can't be too good to ourselves, or it could be seen as selfish, which really is a myth as far as I'm concerned. We really need to look after ourselves, and just about that sort of self-talk, about being aware of how you're talking to yourself, because sometimes we can have that kind of critical inner voice, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done that. Just try and change that sort of dialogue to I'm doing the best I can, and just be kind to yourself. Then exercising regularly, that's a really important one. If we can get out like even 5 days a week, for 30 minutes, that it can be really helpful for your mental health and your physical health. So again, it's that mind and body, the mind and body wellness. And just doing something that suits you, because not everybody can walk and get out walking. So it's just about, even getting out, walking around the block, doing what you enjoy doing. A lot of people have started cycling more now since COVID. People are around cycling, so that's a lovely one as well. And then taking up a new hobby or learning a new skill can be really good for your confidence as well. It's just about trying something new and different, and having some fun, being creative. There's no harm in having a little dance around the kitchen sometimes. We can do that at any age. And turn, I find like disco music can be really nice, just to kind of get into that. It just makes you feel good. So it's good to have a little dance. So helping others, that one actually is really important as well. getting involved with a community project or charity work. And you can contact like John at the Donegal Volunteer Centre, because they can place you with people or places that you could do some volunteering for. And it's really, really good to do something like that, because it really helps you feel better about yourself as well. And then, of course, relaxation is really important, and I'll be showing you some techniques about that later. Breathing is so important, as you know, taking a good deep breath right down into your belly and sort of slowly letting it out again can be really, really good. Even doing 3 or 4 of those every so often can really help you to feel more relaxed. And then eating healthily is really important. It's kind of sometimes can be hard to stick to that at this time of the year. You start feeling like having a little bit more chocolate. And that's okay, but it's just about getting the balance really. And drinking water is a good one. I can see, I think John was drinking something there now. Was it coffee or water? I have the water here. But anyway, coffee or whatever. So, and the balance, the sleep as well, as I said before, getting into a routine, connecting with others, because really we're social creatures really. And we feel a sense of connection when we're together with others. So, and sometimes it can be hard during these times to get the connection, but you know, we can always call people, text people, you know, you can meet people social distancing as well. You know, it's really amazing how innovative people have started to get now. I've noticed like downstairs here, they have these little pods at the volunteers, just outside the volunteers centre here. They have these little pods where people can sit and drink their coffee outside. It's amazing, it really is. So if you feel like doing that at social distancing, then you know it's fine. You can do that. And then just being aware of alcohol, because it really sort of, I mean, it's all right to have one drink just to relax, but it can increase the level of depression if you're already feeling a bit low. And then I suppose seeing the bigger picture, that's an important one as well, about looking at, you know, sometimes we can worry about the little things. And it's just about looking at the bigger picture and asking yourself, how important is this right now? How is it going to look in 2 years' time or 3 years' time? And, you know, looking at the bigger picture is important. And accepting it is what it is. That's probably one of the most important things really during these times, because it feels sometimes like it's just so hard that we have to put up with all these restrictions. And so accepting that it is what it is it kind of, you know what, it kind of reduces the level of stress in the body as well. Because when we're resisting things, we're really sort of, we're holding on really, really tight, and that affects our body. You know, we can feel the tension in our body. I love the serenity prayer. I don't know, some of you may have heard of that one. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. And the ability to accept the things I cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's a really nice one. So that can be helpful during these times. It's just about accepting that it is what it is. And that handout will be available for you to have a look at later. Okay, that other one's a little bit stuck there, so I'll just see if I can try this one here. Okay, yeah, that's working. Okay, so most importantly, I think in all this, the times that we're going through, is really important to talk about how you feel and to let someone know how you feel. And you know, it's okay not to feel okay, because we all will have good days and bad days, and that's normal during these times. And it can be normal in the winter as well to feel a little bit low in mood, the odd day. And a problem shared is a problem halved. It's so important just to be able to, you know, that relief that you can get just by even expressing how you feel. And I suppose even going back to how I felt that day that I was anxious, and you know, being able to just name it for myself and saying, you know, gosh, I'm just feeling really anxious. You know, I can feel it in my body. I was a bit sort of hyped up, you know, and when you name it, you know, it really sort of, it kind of reduces the level of anxiety within you. So name it to tame it. So, you know, it does help. And, you know, even just talking about it to a trusted friend or relative. So this yourmentalhealth.ie. That's a website, a HSE website that you can have a look at, and they have a lot of different, they have a list of support organisations in your area, and they have some tips as well on well-being. It's a really good one to have a look at. And this was like Mental Health Week, you know, so we all need to be aware of that. Mental health is really important, and it's an important part of us, and it's the mind and body connection. So how we view our situation is also really important for our well-being. So on the left there, I have that mantra. There's a few mantras, you know, in relation to COVID, you know, this is temporary and this too will pass. And we know it will pass. And that's what we know for sure, it will pass. Thinking about what our ancestors coped with, like wars and famines, and, you know, and they came through it. And we'll come through it. You know, we can have good and bad days, but, you know, it's what we do in the bad days that will really help us cope with the other days. So if we just maybe lie around and just feel and don't do anything at all, then it you know, sometimes that's just not helpful. We need to maybe just, you know, really sort of dig deep and maybe just put the coat on and get out for a walk and doing something different, and it does help. So keep doing the things you enjoy doing. You know, I put a few things down there that I enjoy doing. You know, I enjoy walking the dog, doing the yoga, and little bits of stuff. I mean, I'm not that busy that I'm doing all that all the time, but if I find that something's working for me, I'll keep doing it. And I think that's kind of a good one to remember. If it works, just keep doing it. So we're now on part 2. I'm just going to take a little drink of water here. And this is an introduction to mindfulness as part of our well-being. So, so I suppose we're even thinking about mindfulness, we think about the mind, really. And mindfulness as a concept is a very interesting concept because it's not just about the mind, it's also about what we do. So it's about our actions as well. So I'll explain as I go the concept of it. So when your mind feels overloaded with thoughts or stress, it's beneficial to notice what's going on around you. And that can be, for example, you could be sort of having a very, very busy head. And that could be known as just being lost in thought. You're not present. So you're just away somewhere in a different place. You could be in the past or in the future. You could be in the past sort of regretting or thinking if only thoughts, and then in the future thinking, you know, what if this happens or what if that happens. But when you stop and just take a look around you and even look out the window at the colours of the autumn leaves, for example, that's an example of mindfulness, because you're just starting to notice and you're using one of your senses, like your eyes and your sight, to look out the window and notice something around you, and that helps with the busy mind. So this one here, I suppose, mindful or mindful. So this man here on the left has a lot going on there. It's very busy, and the dog is just thinking really about the trees, just very chilled out. So he doesn't have a lot going on at all. So, you know, and I suppose we have the ability to get to that state as well, where we can just sort of maybe just do things in order to sort of maybe reduce all that other sort of stuff that's going on, the busyness. So the mindful is it's like having a radio station with static on 24/7, and that can be really exhausting. So what is mindfulness? So this man here, Jon Kabat-Zinn, he was one of the founders of mindfulness-based stress reduction in Massachusetts in the 80s. He founded this technique or program, and it came into clinics at that time and was used for people who had physical and mental health problems. And they have so much research, like lots and lots and lots of research into how good it is for people with physical conditions and mental health conditions like depression. So basically it's about paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmental. So it's a little bit like that, what I was saying before about, you know, you might be feeling there's a lot of thoughts going through your head, and where you can just look out the window and look at the trees. That's an example of it, really. It's quite simple. It's a simple practice, but some people find it hard to do initially. So mindfulness means deliberately attending to and becoming more aware of our experience, our thoughts, feelings, and body sensations, and we'll be practicing that later. It's about being present and connected. Basically, that's it in a nutshell, really, being present and connected. And this allows us to clearly perceive thoughts, physical sensations, emotions, and events at the moment they occur without reacting in an automatic or habitual way. So when we are mindful, experiences don't tend to overwhelm us as much, and we usually become steady through life's ups and downs. So your body and mindfulness and the benefits. So they've done a lot of research into that, and it's ongoing. They've volumes of research into it, and it's really proven to balance your blood pressure, decreased cellular aging, better sleep quality, decreased heart rate, improved immune function, increased blood flow. So that's quite amazing, really, isn't it? There's a lot of benefits. And then the benefits for your mind, increased emotional intelligence, increased creativity, better memory, increased kindness and empathy towards self and others, less stress, and cortisol thickening. So that's the empathy part there, the cortisol thickening that they've noticed in the brain as a result of people that would have meditated a lot. And I mean, I suppose really, I mean, it's not something that happens overnight. You know, you need to be doing this a while to get these kind of benefits. But you know, even after a week or two, you should be able to notice the benefits. So mindfulness can help you to gain much needed space in your mind, to give your mind and body a rest, and to cultivate a calm mind and relaxed body. So again, it's about that mind and body. So important, the mind. And then we have this concept in mindfulness called the doing mode versus the being mode. And the doing mode is usually the anxious, where we're feeling anxious, and we've all been there. I've been there, I'll tell you, a lot of times. The doing mode, an over busyness, not focused totally on the task or people you are with. You know, you're with others, but you're not fully present as you're distracted in your overthinking mind. And sometimes, you know, I would, I mean, when I'm over busy or distracted, sometimes if somebody says something to me, I say to them, gosh, I don't remember you saying that before. And that's me being over busy. So it affects my memory then, because I can't remember what somebody said. So doing mode is just really, it's just, an over busyness. And it's, the automatic pilot, where you're just basically, an example of that could be that, you're sort of forgetting to turn off things, and you're thinking, did I turn off that switch, or did I lock that door? And I've done that a few times as well. And I know when I do that, it's like I'm in that doing mode, in that busy mode. So it's almost like I have to go back then, and I have to say to myself, okay, I am now walking towards the door. I'm walking out the door. I've got the keys in my hand, and I am locking the door. So then I'm completely mindful when I'm saying that and I'm doing that. So that's a common one of the doing mode. Another one is, some people have described as well, they went on that journey in the car and they didn't remember it, because they were just like, they were in their heads all the time. So it can be a little bit dangerous as well if you're in the car. So you need to sort of come back into the body. So the being mode really is about being present and enjoying the moment. Being lost in something you enjoy. So it could be art, it could be in nature, it could be with children, playing with children, being truly present with others. So really, there's a lot of different ways of being present, and I'm sure you all have your own as well, your own examples there. Nature is a great one. Nature is, I love being around trees, because trees are just so stable and strong, and they're just there's something very protective about trees. So we get out of balance if we're over busy. And, you know, we need to get the balance back, because it really is not good for our body and our mind if we're busy, if we're over busy for too long. So the practice of mindfulness is about coming back to our senses. Like I was saying to you before about, you know, if you're feeling you have that over busy mind, that you could just stop and look out the window at the trees. And that's coming back to the sense of seeing. So the senses like listening, seeing, tasting, smelling, touching, or breathing. So when you give your full attention to any one of these senses, your automatic pilot switch is off. Your mind stops wandering from the past to the future. So this is an example of a good one, a mindfulness practice in engaging with your sense of taste. So for example, even, you know, when we're sitting at the table and we're eating, sometimes we can be in a bit of a rush. So maybe the next time you're having a meal or fruit or whatever it is that you're eating, just imagine that it's the first time that you've ever had that fruit or that meal. And just really look at the color. Take your time to look at the color. It's almost like it's the first time you've seen it. It's a really nice practice. Just notice the color, the texture, the smell of it while you're eating it, and just slowing it down. Just really taking that time to enjoy it. And you know, it's really good for your stress levels. It improves digestion as well, because if we're rushing our food, it's not good. Our digestion can't keep up with the speed. So just try and eat your food without distractions and put your phone away. And sometimes people read when they're eating, and I was thinking, gosh, I could never really quite do that, because I can't do two things at once, you know. So even, you know, just being in the moment, enjoy your food. You could try that this week as a wee example to see if that helps. And then even noticing afterwards how it makes you feel. Yeah, and putting the screens away is important. You know what, I'm thinking, even putting screens away. A few months ago, I was out and I was having a cup of coffee, and there was 3 or 4 couples having lunch, and they were all looking into their screens. Gosh, it was like surprising, really. It's, you know, because it's like you're not really with the other person when you have the phone with you all the time. So sometimes it's just something to reflect on, really, isn't it? Just to reflect on why you need to be on that phone all the time. So another practice as well that can be really handy if you're you know, for the overbusy mind. You know, the next time you're out walking, and if your head's racing, if it's like the washing machine effect, if it's going full speed, if it's 60-degree speed, you know, just focus on your senses for 15 seconds. And it's not for very long. So you could just focus on what you see around you, the colors, beautiful colors this time of the year, what you hear. You can concentrate on the sounds, like the birds, anything in the environment. Focus on the sensation of the feet on the ground as well. And that can be a really nice one to do. And notice as well afterwards how you feel after you do something like that, because it really does help to kind of stop that overbusy mind. Another mindful practice as well is focusing on the breath. Now the breath is something it's a wonderful thing. It's very grounding, and it can be a stable anchor. So it's something that we're not aware of unless we're running up the stairs and our heart is beating really fast. Other than that, we're not aware of the breathing, really, of the breath, and it's always there, and it's so beneficial for our mental and physical health. It soothes and restores, and hospitals use it for recovery, for physical illnesses, and for depression. It's really, really good. So again, it just anchors you into the present moment. It brings you back out of that over-busy head and the doing mode, and back into the present moment. And also you get fresh oxygen into your cells. So the in-breath provides the fresh oxygen into your cells, and the out-breath calms and soothes the vagus nerve, which activates the calming part of our nervous system. So focus on the breath, especially helpful when you're stressed or worried. It can be done anywhere, at home, work, wherever you need it. Just that practice of slowing down the breath, it really helps to reduce the anxiety levels. So we're going to do a short practice now, and we're going to do a practice of focusing on the breath. So just sit back now and relax, and I'll guide you through this. Okay, so just find a relaxed, comfortable position. Just seated on the chair. Keep your back upright, but not too tight. And your hands resting wherever they're comfortable. Tongue on the roof of your mouth or wherever it's comfortable. And you can notice your body from the inside. Noticing the shape of your body, the weight, touch, and let yourself relax. And become curious about your body seated here. The sensations of your body, the touch, the connection with the floor, the connection with the chair. Relax any area of tightness or tension. Just breathe. Soften. And just begin to tune into your breath. Begin to tune into your breath in your body. Feeling the natural flow of breath. Don't need to do anything to your breath. Not long, not short, just natural. And notice where you feel your breath in your body. It might be in your belly. It may be in your chest or throat. Or in your nostrils. See if you can feel the sensations of breath, one breath at a time. When one breath ends, the next breath begins. Now as you do this, you might notice that your mind might start to wander. You might start thinking about other things. If this happens, this is not a problem. It's very natural. Just notice that your mind has wandered. You can say thinking or wandering in your head softly. And then very gently redirect your attention right back to the breathing. So we'll stay with this for a few seconds in silence. Just a short time noticing our breath. From time to time, getting lost in thought and returning gently to our breath. See if you can be really kind to yourself in this process. As you gently bring yourself back to your breath again. And once again, you can notice your body. Your whole body seated here. Let yourself relax even more deeply. And then offer yourself some appreciation for doing this practice today, whatever that means to you. Finding a sense of ease and well-being for yourself and this day. When you're ready, you can just very slowly, get up and come back to the room and open your eyes. Okay, so slowing down our breath and our reactions. So I suppose really looking at, between the in-breath and the out-breath, minding the gap, and the gap is the pause between the in-breath and the out-breath. The gap between pausing before you react to a situation, the gap that allows time to stop and take a breath, to slow things down, to let time pass and allow everything to settle. And that gap, to be able to think things through. So it's about slowing everything down. So then just the mindful moment there of, sometimes if we're feeling a bit upset and a little bit frustrated, just minding that gap as well about, before you respond to an email, because that's about mind the gap and mind yourself. So mindfulness can be used for a lot, really. And again, about pausing, the gap and pausing to stop. This can change the way we interact with people. It can help almost any relationship if we stop and listen without needing to defend our positions. The stop and pause makes a difference, I suppose, just learning to respond rather than to react. And that's what mindfulness is really good for as well, because it just gives us that space and time, between the in-breath and the out-breath. And then we can transfer that into our daily living, where we can have that pause and gap, where we can sort of sit and listen to our family members or our friends or whoever we're connecting with, just having that little bit of distance and pause. So the next one we're going to do is a body scan exercise, and that's a really nice one to do as well. You can do that. You can do that actually. It's quite good actually to use before you go to sleep as well at night as a good wind down exercise. So just sit back again now and relax. This will be the final one we do for today. So as I said, this can be done before you go to sleep, or it can be done anywhere, like at home, lying on a sofa or a bed. So as you get into a comfortable position, so as you get into a comfortable position, allowing yourself to begin to sink comfortably into the surface below you. You may perhaps begin to allow your eyes to gradually close. Begin by bringing awareness to the breath. Noticing the rhythm, the experience of breathing in and breathing out. You don't need to change the way you're breathing, but rather just hold gentle awareness on the breath for 3 more breaths. Now focus your attention on how your toes feel against your skin, the contours of the surface on which your body is resting. Now allowing all your attention to focus on your feet. Starting with the toes of both feet, notice whatever sensation is there. Simply feel it. There may be no sensation there at all, and that's okay. Just notice whatever is there. Now move your attention to the top of your feet, the soles of your feet, and your ankles, your lower legs, your knees, your thighs, your buttocks, belly, chest, your lower back, your upper back ribs, and your shoulder blades. Now turn your attention to your hands, the fingers on both hands, the tips of your fingers, the palms of your hands, the back of your hands, and your wrists. Move your attention now to your arms, the lower arms, elbows, and upper arms. Turning now to your neck, the front of the neck, the back of the neck. And now moving your attention to your face and head, your jaw, mouth, nose, the tip of your nose, the bridge of your nose, your cheeks, ears, eyes, eyelashes, eyebrows. Now focus on the forehead, the scalp, back of the head, the top of the head. Now focus on the right side of your body, from the top of your head, all the way down to the sole of your right foot. The whole right side of your body. Focus on the whole right side of your body. Now focus on the left side of your body. From from the top of your head all the way down, all the way down, down to the sole of your left foot. The whole left side of your body. Focus on the whole left side of your body. Now focus on the front of your body. From the top of your head and down through the body and down, down to the soles of both feet. The whole front of the body. Focus on the whole front of the body. Now focus on the back of your body. From the top of your head and down through the body. Down, down through the whole back of the body. And down, down to the soles of both feet. The whole back of your body. Focus on the whole back of your body. Finally, focus now on your breathing. The in-breath and out-breath. Not trying to change it in any way. Just sit for a few moments and take 5 breaths at your own pace. Enjoy this feeling of relaxation. And just notice how your breath may have slowed down as a result of taking this time to slow down and relax. Knowing you can repeat this exercise at any time of your choosing. And then slowly come back into the room, just very slowly come back, very slowly, slowly open your eyes. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so the benefits of the body scan, helpful for calming and settling the mind. And as I said before, really good for, even if you're lying in bed and you're finding it hard to sleep, even going through those different parts of the body, it's really about focusing on the breath and the body can be really helpful. So I suppose just this book here is a really good book for recommended reading by John Kabat-Zinn. It's called Full Catastrophic Living. And he introduces a lot of different concepts, mindfulness concepts in there. And there's also free meditations called franticworld.com. And they have a lot of different meditations in there. And they have ones like, I think they have ones like called the raisin mindfulness, where you just sort of pick up a raisin and you mindfully eat the raisin as if you've never eaten a raisin before in your life. So there's a lot of really nice ones in there. They've also chocolate ones, which is important too. It's not just the raisins. We all need a bit of chocolate. So there's a chocolate meditation as well. So I suppose just to recap, really, that the wellness is, it is about the mind and body, and it's about trying to really to mind both. Really, it's really important. And the mindfulness, even something as simple as, even when you drive in the car, I find that if I just really hold and feel the sensation of the driving of the steering wheel when I'm driving, just holding on to it, feeling the sensation of the wheel of the what do you call it, the wheel. It brings, that's a sensory thing, and it brings me into the moment, and it makes me feel like, okay, I'm back in this, I'm back where I need to be, because sometimes our minds do wander, they really do. And and if they're wandering when you're in the car, then yeah, just even holding on to the steering wheel can help to bring it back again. So little things like that. And it's moments of mindfulness, even when you're washing the dishes or something, feeling the sensation of the suds against your hand, or feeling the sensation of the water against your hand, because sometimes we're just always rushing, and it's about those mindful moments of slowing it down. And what happens then is, I know from my own experience, if I am too busy in my head, I can actually have a little minor accident if I'm chopping vegetables or something. Something can, you can have wee accidents, and that's my cue that I need to slow things down. So just being in the moment whenever you can it's a lovely thing to do. So I think that's the end of the presentation, John. If anybody wanted to ask anything or...
Yeah, I don't think anybody's awake. That's why their cameras are off. Maria, that was fantastic. It was really, really good again. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Really, really relaxing. It is. No, it's very good. Cameras are starting to come on. They're all going to prove they're awake now. No, look, we're delighted. I suppose it's great on an afternoon when the rest of the world is focusing on the budget that's coming out. Sorry, I probably ruined it for everybody now. But that we're, I suppose, just taking an hour out to relax and I suppose be mindful and focus on your well-being. So, no, thank you very much. Eamon, do you want to close for us, or you're paused there yet, or muted?
The power of technology to mute and unmute you is fantastic. Maria, thanks very much for that. We all enjoyed that. I think I'm speaking for everybody here. We're all chilled out now, and we'll use those little mantras and examples you give us going forward. So thanks very much for your input into this today. Thank you.
Very much, Maria, John and Eamon. Cheers.
Right, thank you. Unless anybody's any questions or anything,
Thanks a million.
Enjoyed it immensely. Thank you, folks. Reminded.